I bought the mountain cabin because I wanted silence. After 12 years in the city, sirens, neighbors, deadlines, and endless screens, I wanted a place where nothing happened. The cabin sat high in the Carven Range, reachable only by a dirt road that vanished under snow half the year. No cell signal, no power lines, just trees, wind, and stone. Perfect. Or so I thought. The first sign that I wasn't alone came 3 weeks after I moved in. I returned from chopping firewood at dusk and found the cabin door unlocked. I was certain I'd locked it. Inside, nothing looked disturbed at first glance, but something felt wrong. The air carried a faint metallic scent, sharp and cold, like rain on hot iron. That night, I heard movement in the loft. Soft. Careful. Someone or something trying not to be heard. I lay still with my hand wrapped around the old hunting rifle I kept by the bed. My heart hammered so loud I was sure it would give me away. After several minutes, the sound faded. No footsteps. No creak of the ladder. Just silence. The next morning, I found footprints outside the cabin. Barefoot. Long, narrow. Not human. I should have left. Any sane person would have. But curiosity has always been my greatest weakness. Over the following days, small things went missing. Dried meat, a blanket, a cooking pot, only to reappear cleaned and neatly arranged. Whoever shared my cabin knew how to live quietly, and they were afraid of me. That realization came the night I finally saw her. I stepped inside after a long hike, snow clinging to my boots. The fire was already lit, and someone was standing near the hearth. She froze the moment our eyes met. She was tall, though hunched now in fear. Her skin shimmered faintly, not glowing but reflecting light like moonlit stone. Her hair, if it was hair, fell in smooth, silver-black strands down her back. Her eyes were too large, too luminous, catching the firelight like stars caught in glass. The instant I moved, she vanished. Not teleported. Not disappeared. She hid. I heard the scrape of movement as she squeezed behind the stacked firewood, pulling a loose plank into place with impossible speed. Silence followed, broken only by her breathing, fast, shallow, terrified. I lowered the rifle. "It's okay," I said, my voice rough. "I won't hurt you." No answer. I sat down slowly on the bench, keeping my hands visible. Minutes passed, then more. Finally, a single silver eye peeked through a crack in the planks. She studied me like a trapped animal. "You live here," I said quietly. "You've been here longer than me, haven't you?" Her head tilted. She didn't understand my words, but she understood my tone. Over the next weeks, we learned each other the slow way. No sudden movements. No raised voices. I left food out and stepped away. She emerged only when she thought I wasn't looking. When I spoke, I kept my voice low and calm. Eventually, she stopped hiding. Her name, at least the sound she used to refer to herself, was something my mouth couldn't shape. I called her Lyra. She didn't correct me. Lyra was not a scout or an invader, as every movie would have you believe. She was a survivor. Her ship had crashed high in the mountains during a planetary survey gone wrong. The rest of her crew died in the impact. She escaped with injuries that would have killed a human. For years, she lived alone, adapting, watching Earth from a distance. My cabin, abandoned for decades, became her shelter. When I arrived, she thought I was a predator. Humans, it turned out, had a reputation among the stars. But slowly, trust replaced fear. She learned my routines. I learned her needs. She could mend metal with her hands and see heat like color. In return, I taught her how to cook properly, how to laugh, an awkward, chiming sound at first, and how to sit by the fire without flinching. The middle of that winter was the happiest time of my life. Then the sky burned. One night, Lyra stiffened and stared upward, her eyes reflecting a light I couldn't see. A low hum vibrated through the cabin walls. "They found me," she said in broken English she had painstakingly learned. "They will not be kind." A retrieval vessel descended the next day, sleek and merciless. They demanded she surrender, called her property, an asset to be reclaimed. I stood between them and my cabin door with a rifle that might as well have been a stick. "She stays," I said. They laughed. Lyra stepped forward then, placing a hand on my shoulder. Her touch was warm. "He does not belong to you," she told them, voice steady. "And neither do I." Something changed in her that moment. The frightened survivor was gone. In her place stood someone ancient and unyielding. The air itself seemed to bend around her. The aliens retreated. Later, she explained who she truly was. Not a runaway, not a victim, a guardian, one of many sent to quietly watch emerging species. Earth was not alone. It was protected, and humanity, for all its flaws, had shown something rare. Compassion without power. She had hidden because she feared us. She stayed because she believed in us. Spring came early that year. When the snow melted, Lyra told me she had to leave. Her presence here would draw attention again. But she promised something before she went. "We are watching," she said. "When humanity reaches out, it will not be alone." Her ship rose silently at dawn. The cabin felt empty afterward. Too quiet. But sometimes, when the fire crackles just right, I catch that metallic scent in the air. And I know that somewhere beyond the mountains and the stars, she remembers me. And because of her, I believe the universe might remember us kindly too. The cabin never truly felt empty after she left. At first, I told myself that the silence was the same silence I'd come here for, the clean, honest quiet of mountains and wind. But it wasn't. This silence listened back. It waited. Every morning, I still set 2 cups beside the fire before realizing I only needed one. Weeks passed, then months. I returned to my routines, chopping wood, repairing the roof, watching the seasons crawl across the peaks, but I was no longer the man who had arrived seeking isolation. I had seen proof that the universe was larger than fear, larger than conquest. And more importantly, I had learned that humanity was being judged not by our weapons or our technology, but by how we treated the weak, the lost, and the afraid. One night, long after the snow had melted, the sky shimmered softly above the cabin. No ships descended. No voices spoke. But the stars rearranged themselves for a brief moment into a pattern I recognized. A promise. I smiled and raised my cup to the sky. "Good luck out there, Lyra," I said. And somewhere beyond the mountains, beyond Earth itself, an alien woman who once hid in fear remembered a human who did not chase, did not cage, and did not demand. And because of that choice, my choice, I knew one day, when humanity finally stepped into the stars, we would not be greeted as monsters. We would be remembered as friends.